hands-on skills with cutting-edge tools like Wireshark, Metasploit, Nmap, Burp Suite, and more. No prior experience? No problem. We guide you every step of the way. Gain real-world experience with your own virtual computer. Practice in a safe, simulated environment, tackling cyber threats, securing networks, and mastering ethical hacking techniques. We don't just teach you skills, we prepare you for success. Our team helps you craft a standout resume and ace your interviews, ensuring you land your dream job in cybersecurity. Don't wait for cyber threats to strike. Become the solution. Enroll in Softafreak Group's 16-week cybersecurity course today and start your journey to a high-paying career. Visit portal.softafreak.net to sign up now. Call for the USA +15029667638 and for Ghana +2332687888884.
Okay, so good afternoon. I hope you guys can hear me as we are waiting for others to join. Let's begin. So, welcome to another of Threat Intelligence Seminar. And as you know already, we are here to talk about cybersecurity. Our cyberspace thing at the end of the day. So, let's see at our first section. This Threat Intelligence Seminar is divided structurally. First part is our video industry, where we are watching an education video that is teaching us something about cybersecurity. We are done with the education video. We will watch, so you will answer certain questions about the education video. And that will complete the first session. Second session, on the other hand, is where we are teaching or a tool that we make that will help us get more experience and more about cybersecurity. So let me just try and fix that. Okay. Yeah, hello. Hello, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, hi.
All right, sure. So let's move to our first session and let's watch this animated video. And when we are done, we'll meet here again and then we'll discuss. I'll play the video 2 times so that we understand and also for others to join in later on so that they can also understand. Okay, let me do that. Okay.
High-profile companies frequently have fans following their every move, looking for information employees might disclose. Smaller companies can also have sensitive information that hasn't been disclosed to the public. Knowing the difference between various data classification levels, confidential, sensitive, and public, is of utmost importance in keeping your organization secure.
You're saying I'm gonna be fired for this?
I don't think you understand the full ramifications of what you did, Chris.
I corrected a few people on some well-known facts about spectral dynamics in an online forum. Not that big of a deal, if you ask me.
Chris, look, I'm fully aware of the lay of the land around here, and I know some people, Lucas for one, can cast a pretty big shadow, and that a lot of you programmers feel like you're constantly playing second fiddle to him.
That obvious, huh?
I also know there's a lot of other outlets for you, like the online forum you were using, where you can post information about our company. And there will be people out there hungry for that information who will boost your ego for leaking it to them.
I'm not sure leaking information is the most accurate description of what I did, since it was already in the news.
Those news articles are pure speculation about sensitive and confidential information our company has neither confirmed nor denied. I think you know that. Look, I'm not saying you can never talk about work projects with family or friends or even online, but anything that hasn't been confirmed as being part of the public realm should be treated as off limits. A good litmus test is the company website. If the information you're about to reveal is on there, then great, go ahead and talk about it. Or if it's been announced in a formal press release on our blog or our CEO has announced it on Twitter. But if not, then chances are it's still considered sensitive or confidential and should not be discussed with anyone.
Makes sense. You know, I think part of the reason I slipped is because I'm still fairly new here. The previous organization I was working for was smaller. We didn't have anything like data classification policies.
I understand, and that's frequently the case with small or medium-sized companies that keep a lower profile. But even if we didn't have a policy here, it's important to use your best judgment. Listen for that inner voice telling you, proceed with caution, because usually those instincts are correct.
Yeah, actually, I heard the inner voice you're describing, telling me, Chris, stop what you're doing and sign off. Unfortunately, I decided to ignore it and keep posting. I guess because, well...
Because you got caught up in the adrenaline surge that goes along with web forums and with people hanging on your every word. Believe me, Chris, I get it. I'm constantly being pressed for information about what we do here, but it's important to resist the temptation of momentarily elevating your status at the risk of company security by steering clear of posting messages or photos, not just on forums like Reddit, but on other social media sites as well. Sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because sometimes sensitive or confidential data can inadvertently be included in those posts without us even realizing it. Well, I think you have a clearer understanding of how our data classification policy works around here now, which is why I'm going to recommend to upper management that they let this go with just a warning.
You are?
The usual recourse would be termination, and if anything like this happens again, it will be. But I'm relatively certain that won't be the case, right? Right?
Absolutely. I promise, nothing like this will ever happen again. I can't thank you enough, Renee, and I assure you, I won't let you down.
High-profile companies frequently have fans following their every move, looking for information employees might disclose. Smaller companies can also have sensitive information that hasn't been disclosed to the public. Knowing the difference between various data classification levels, confidential, sensitive, and public, is of utmost importance in keeping your organization secure.
You're saying I'm gonna be fired for this?
I don't think you understand the full ramifications of what you did, Chris.
I corrected a few people on some well-known facts about spectral dynamics in an online forum. Not that big of a deal, if you ask me.
Chris, look, I'm fully aware of the lay of the land around here, and I know some people, Lucas for one, can cast a pretty big shadow, and that a lot of you programmers feel like you're constantly playing second fiddle to him.
That obvious, huh?
I also know there's a lot of other outlets for you, like the online forum you were using, where you can post information about our company. And there will be people out there hungry for that information who will boost your ego for leaking it to them.
I'm not sure leaking information is the most accurate description of what I did, since it was already in the news.
Those news articles are pure speculation about sensitive and confidential information our company has neither confirmed nor denied. I think you know that. Look, I'm not saying you can never talk about work projects with family or friends or even online, but anything that hasn't been confirmed as being part of the public realm should be treated as off limits. A good litmus test is the company website. If the information you're about to reveal is on there, then great, go ahead and talk about it. Or if it's been announced in a formal press release on our blog, or our CEO has announced it on Twitter. But if not, then chances are it's still considered sensitive or confidential and should not be discussed with anyone.
Makes sense. You know, I think part of the reason I slipped is because I'm still fairly new here. The previous organization I was working for was smaller. We didn't have anything like data classification policies.
I understand, and that's frequently the case with small or medium-sized companies that keep a lower profile. But even if we didn't have a policy here, it's important to use your best judgment. Listen for that inner voice telling you, proceed with caution, because usually those instincts are correct.
Yeah, actually, I heard the inner voice you're describing, telling me, Chris, stop what you're doing and sign off. Unfortunately, I decided to ignore it and keep posting. I guess because, well...
Because you got caught up in the adrenaline surge that goes along with web forums and with people hanging on your every word. Believe me, Chris, I get it. I'm constantly being pressed for information about what we do here, but it's important to resist the temptation of momentarily elevating your status at the risk of company security by steering clear of posting messages or photos, not just on forums like Reddit, but on other social media sites as well. Sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because sometimes sensitive or confidential data can inadvertently be included in those posts without us even realizing it. Well, I think you have a clearer understanding of how our data classification policy works around here now, which is why I'm going to recommend to upper management that they let this go with just a warning.
You are?
The usual recourse would be termination, and if anything like this happens again, it will be. But I'm relatively certain that won't be the case. Right? Right?
Absolutely. I promise, nothing like this will ever happen again. I can't thank you enough, Renee, and I assure you, I won't let you down.
Okay, so welcome back from the video. You know that some information that we post could end us in trouble. So this is all what this is about. That there are some data that shouldn't go out there. We are supposed to keep proprietary data proprietary, and that is the main concept of this particular video. So let's take the quiz about this particular video. Now we have 4 questions, and these are true or false statements. Okay, so I'm reading the question. If you know the answer, please unmute yourself and tell me the answer. Or you can also type the answer in the chat section. Okay. So question number 1, which is true or false. Taking and posting photos on social media sites could even accidentally display confidential information. True or false?
True.
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 True. Okay. Perfect. Let's go to the second one where it says, if you are not sure if specific information is confirmed or public knowledge, checking the company's official communication is a good step to take before sharing anything. True or false?
True.
Yeah, true. All right. Okay, let's look at question number 3. If you are being pressed for information that might be considered sensitive, trusting an instinct to take care of the potential confidential data should be followed. If you are being pressed for information that might be considered sensitive, trusting any instinct to take care of potentially confidential data should be followed. True or false? Hello?
True.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the last one, which is also another true or false. If your company doesn't have any form of data classification policy, it means that everything is automatically public. So information doesn't need to be treated with care. True or false?
False.
Okay. All right. So this is just a simple video to teach us about cybersecurity, things that we should handle with care. Now, last week, Wednesday, we talked about introduction to cybersecurity. We were looking at understanding what cybersecurity is all about. Okay. Now we'll continue from that particular series, because this month is all about cybersecurity and our cyber rights program and an introductory course to getting to know cybersecurity. If you are here and you don't know what you are in for, this thing will help you, or this seminar will help you. So let's continue from where we left off last. Last week, we talked about what is cybersecurity, where we said we are the digital police. That's we are mandated to protect people's data, people's network, people's devices, softwares, and other things online. That is what we did. So we looked at cybersecurity and we looked at what we are mandated to protect, or the subcategories of things that you need to know, like network security, software security, data security. All those things will help you do or be a very good cybersecurity professional. And when you look at a few statistics online, you realize that a lot of organizations lose money as a result of a cyber breach. We're talking about millions of dollars that one simple incident can affect a company's finances. Most of the companies, or most medium companies that suffer from cyber attacks, they don't even come back again. because the cost is too much. You see, and then if you actually also look deeper, you realize that some of the things are mostly human related. When I say human related, we mostly forget. Workers, colleagues might have done something and they forgot that they might be bad, or they didn't know that this is bad. You see, oh, let me just open this website. Let me just open this link. Let me see those things. And that is what accounts to most of the things. And that is why this threat intelligence seminar exists. And if you find yourself in companies, they train their staff and they make sure to do it constantly. We are also doing it constantly so that you get to understand everything. And if you find it somewhere, you know what to do, and you also spread the word to people around you at the end of the day. So let's look at the continuation, like I said, of what we have to know, the things that we have to know, even though in the class, you realize that it is deeper than this. So last time we spoke about these things, what we need to protect, the key terms: an attack, a risk, a vulnerability, an exploit, a threat. So we finished a threat. A threat is any person, or a group of people, or anything that can harm your data, your information that you have on your phone, information on your laptop, information that you are giving to a website. Most of the time, we go online, we create accounts, we use our names, we use our emails, our phone numbers, our address. All these things are all part of our data. We trust those companies to keep it safe for us. Our Facebooks, our social media accounts, all of them, we trust them to protect our data for us. The phones that we use, we want security on our phone. We don't want anybody to just come in and take over our phone. That is why most of us have passwords on our phone, or sometimes we use biometrics, or we use other forms of verification. Anything that could harm all those things is considered a threat. Now, a virus can harm our computer, so we classify virus as a threat. A hacker or somebody skilled enough to go into our system or to navigate and find cracks and use them can also be considered as a threat. And then we also have other things that we can control: a natural disaster, earthquake, a power outage. I don't even see power outage for natural disaster, but there's something that we can control. You see, so at the end of the day, as we are protecting or we are fighting against certain things that we think we can't control, there are other things too out there that maybe we can, but we still have to make room for that. And I'll explain why we have to make room for that later on today. Now let's look at some few threat actors. When we say a threat actor, we know threats are something that can harm. A threat actor becomes a person or an individual who carries a potential risk to cybersecurity. That is a threat actor. See, these are people, some of them are skilled, some of them are learning. They range from highly trained to people who are just newbies, who are just trying things. So when we talk about threat actors mostly, I refer to them as know your enemies. If you be a cybersecurity professional, these are mostly your enemies. What are they? We have hackers. A hacker is an individual who is technically skilled. So a hacker is very, very skilled. Now, when you talk about hackers, you see something called black hats. And later on, you understand that not all hackers are bad. Some of them work for companies. So those people are referred to the white hat hackers. But then the general conception that we hear is, oh, a hacker, no, we have good ones and then we have bad ones. And mostly the things that we see in movies, you see them clicking and with a green screen and they are in Yama. And then you see that they are inside the camera, they are taking control of the traffic. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't do that. Hackers don't click, type, and then eventually they will take over the camera. No, they research a lot. They click, they read, they learn. They don't just type things on their computers and then they have access to systems like we see in movies or TV. No, you see, they lure people, they bait people to get access to their system, and these are hackers. These people are technically skilled and they break into system illegally. They don't have permission. They just want that for whether they want money or they want personal gain or they are just doing it to cause damage. The motive cannot be just one. Most of them are in for money because when they break into your system, they will demand to pay them. And if you look at or deeper into statistics, most cyber attacks 2024, 2025, most of them are something called ransomware. If you look at the statistics from 2023 to 2024, over 70% of cybersecurity attacks was something called a ransomware. Now, when we talk about a ransomware is a type of attack where this particular virus or your systems will be affected or your system to be locked up. Let me say it that way. Your system will be encrypted. Your system to be locked up in such a way that this attacker would then ask you for ransom. You see, so let's say you are there and your laptop and your phone goes blank, totally blank. Somebody sends you a message. Maybe a message pops up on the phone. The phone is black, but it's a message. If you want to see everything on your phone or you want to retrieve information on your phone, send 1,000 Ghana cedis to this mobile money number or to this bank account. That is a ransomware. It happens a lot in organizations. They would come in and they would freeze, block, corrupt your system, lock your systems up, your laptops, your servers, the things that you need to work. So if you're a company and then somebody has locked up your system, the person is saying that pay this amount of money to this account. If you pay the amount of money, you will get your files back. Will you pay the money? Or are you even sure that at the end of the day, you get your files back? What if this person comes back asking for more? And most ransomware transactions happen in crypto. So the attackers will be like, okay, pay me 1,000 Bitcoin. Even that's a lot, but like pay me this amount of money in Bitcoin. So or in a cryptocurrency. And then they know that at the end of the day, it is difficult to trace a person behind a crypto wallet or a crypto account as compared to bank details, because a bank, somebody would have to send money, retrieve, or somebody would have to, so it is easier to trace a bank account. So most of them are in Bitcoin and other types of crypto accounts, so on and so forth. And these mostly are conducted by hackers. So you know that hackers refers to groups that we will encounter them a lot. Then we have something called a script kiddie. These are all just introduction. A script kiddie is somebody who is learning. This person is not skilled like a hacker. It's like you go online, they see how to create the virus. You see, then they will say open a file, select this, do this. You are just creating a virus and you are trying it out to see if it works. Or you see something on a forum where you say how to block a website. You are just following the scripts that somebody has listed for you. Maybe you don't know whether it works or not, but your activities could still affect somebody because you are like, oh, I want to know how to create a virus. I don't know how to create a virus. So you go to YouTube and say, oh, I want to create a virus. Maybe for educational purpose, but you want to try it out and see if it works. Then you do that. And maybe it works, but you have affected somebody's system. Your motive was not even to hack. Your motive was not even to cause problem, or your intentions were not malicious or bad. At the end of the day, you still did that and it affected the company, and the company has to deal with it. So when we are talking about threat actors, these people pose a threat, whether indirectly, directly, as fun or as bad as they want it to be. We have to deal with these people. So a script kiddie is an unskilled person who is using tools to just try things out and see. Okay, now let's go and talk about other forms of threat actors. The most difficult ones of them are insiders. These are the most difficult type of threat actors. These insiders are people who work in your organization, your colleagues, your friends, who are in the same organization, but at the end of the day, they might want to sabotage you. And it is very difficult to root them out because you never know their intentions. We all work in the same organization, they are all in the same place, but then these people, their intention is to leak something out, their intention is to steal data, steal information, and these people have access to systems. So it is difficult to stop them. It's difficult to even know their motive. Maybe it could be that one person wanted a promotion and they didn't get the promotion. They are angry at the company that they want to release information. I don't know if you heard this news, but there was this big company that 3 employees had been caught. I think it was all over the news last week in the US. The FBI came directly and apprehended them. They were doing so many bad things, but they were part of the organization. And the funny thing is, they were cybersecurity professionals. One was the head of cybersecurity in the company, and this person was still an insider fighting against the company, but the company wouldn't even know because the person who's supposed to protect you, another person who has been causing damage, and this person is also sitting somewhere pretending to fix it. You get it? Because if any issue comes, it's the head of cybersecurity who must deal with it. But not knowing that most of the attacks was conducted by this particular person whose job was to protect the organization. And these things are difficult to arrest. They are difficult to see. But then they are also part of your know your enemies, you see. So they might want to steal data, they might want to sabotage system, but then they become threat actors. So sometimes you see, how can we see these people? Maybe you look at the behavior, it is difficult to find them unless maybe you would investigate and realize that it came from this person. Then you would go in and see. But most of the time, when the attack is happening, because companies mostly defend organizations from what is coming from the outside, because the attackers, the hackers, the bad people, they are mostly outside and they want to cause harm. But in the walls of the company, there might be a person who want to misuse their assets. And these people are called insiders. Okay. Then we have hacktivists. Now, that actor, their motive might be different. We have a group of people who are hackers, but they are also activists. Their job is not like they want to cause harm, even though they are fighting against you, even though they don't want to steal data. I'm not saying they don't want to cause harm. They don't want to take that data for anything, but they just want things to affect you because they are protecting. They are hackers and they are activists, protesters. They are people that your company is doing something, you feel like it goes against nature, it goes against beliefs, it goes against human rights. So why don't we just protest? And a form of protest is by attacking your digital space so that you get to know that they don't agree with you. So maybe the government might say, I'm raising taxes to 10%. These people are like, no, we don't want that. We are struggling, the economy is hard, and you want to raise taxes, then we are protesting. And the way of protest is by just logging or hacking the government website and writing something there that we've had enough, or free us, or no more taxes. You see, it can be like that. Let's say in Ghana, e-levy, when e-levy was introduced, they'll be like, we don't want e-levy, so we are protesting. So Ministry of Finance or the Bank of Ghana, they would attack their system in the form of protests. And as they are protesting, they are bringing the tax down so that it would affect you, for you to think and reconsider. We have a lot of them out there. They might be big, big organizations that they are doing things. So deeper, you realize that they have groups, they have a social media account, and you could search them. They are called anonymous. It's a famous activist group. They do a lot of attacks against big companies, government corporations, and you mostly see them. They have this Joker mask on. The speaker was got this mask of a Joker, and they'll come and say, yes, we are a legion, we are a group of people, they are scattered across the world. Whenever there's something bad going on, and you feel like this organization is behind it, they are destroying the environment, you are killing animals, you are doing this and that. You don't want that. But if you work for the company, it is your job to protect the company. Maybe you might not agree with the company, but it's still your job as a security professional. So will you let these people be successful? That would be a problem for you. So these people also become your enemies. Know your enemy. So these people becomes your enemies. You could find so many groups like the activists. Okay. Then we also have another group called cyber criminals. These people are just criminal syndicates. You see, we have groups of people, like groups like the Bad Empire, the Dark Empire, the Japanese Yakuza, those bad people, where there are lots of drugs, there are lots of trafficking, the cartel, the mafia, those people. These are criminals. They would do anything to get money. If they have to infect your system and ask you for ransom, they will do that. If they come in to steal your credit card, they will do that. These people mostly use ransomware because they want money. Send money to this account. Send money to us because we have your system. And if we don't do this, all those things, that is a cyber criminal, mostly referred to as criminal syndicate. Okay. Then we have nation state actors. These are groups highly skilled, highly trained that are working for governments. These hackers or these groups are working for government. I think yesterday I read online that this Chinese backed company, there was this leak, and you could see it's a Chinese cybersecurity company though, but they were spying for the Chinese government. And there was a leak in that particular company that reveals they have data of other governments, India, Pakistan. You see, it is a cybersecurity company, but then they are spying for government. One might argue that the CIA is a nation state actor for the US, but then allegedly it could be that it could also be something different. But these people are highly skilled. They work for governments. They are there to spy on others. So maybe Ukraine wants to find out what is going on in Russia, or Russia wants to find out what is going on in the US, North Korea, whatever. So we have organizations that are cybersecurity focused. These people will be working for the government. They are highly skilled, highly paid. They have so amount of money, whatever they need, because they are funded by government. The government is definitely rich, right? So these people are also part of know your enemies. And then at the end of the day, you also have cyber terrorists, people who want to cause fear. So you know that the distinction is based on the motive, the group, who is funding them, what do they want at the end of the day. But all these people are your enemies, because if you find yourself working in a big corporation as a cybersecurity professional and another government wants to spy on you, you have to protect your organization and your country. You see, and if a cyber terrorist wants to cause panic, let's say they want to attack an airport, because airports, we need the control towers to communicate with the planes coming, and they want to cause panic so that planes would be flying blind. See, these people are cyber terrorists because they want to cause fear and panic. They want hospitals to shut down so people can die, the power stations to go off so that there will not be any form of electricity. Those people. So if you are finding yourself in these critical points, you work at the airport, you must defend your airports against these people. So all the things that we said here, these are threat actors, people, group of people who can cause something bad, can affect the organization, the data, the devices, all sorts of things. And we need to fight against them. So the concept of cybersecurity is to know how to fight these people, to know how to defend these people, to know the technique that they will use and how to stop them. If they pass through this route, you have things to block them there. If they pass through another route, you have things to block them there. So detecting them, controlling them, and making sure that they don't succeed. This is the point of cybersecurity. And everything you learn in cybersecurity is about defending, protecting, finding out so much information so that you use it to protect your organization or the business or the corporation at the end of the day. Now, like I said, we have types of hackers. The white ones, the good ones, they work for organizations. The black ones, the bad ones. Let's say that way. And then we have people who are in the middle. So the white ones are mostly called pen testing. I don't know if you've heard this word, but we have people called penetration testers. They work for organizations. Those are the people who would find an error in an app, a bug in an app, and they will report to the organization, and the organization will look at it and fix it and release an update so that we will update it, or a patch. So every time you are updating your phone to fix a bug, it is these pen testers that have seen it. So these are called the white hats. The black ones are the criminals, the bad people that we have to fight against. And then the gray ones mostly stay in the middle. They are not that bad, but they are not also that good, because they might break into a system without permission. What distinguishes the white and the black is because of permission. If you are a white hat hacker, you are given permission by the organization. Look into my things. Try as much as possible to find me a problem before the bad people would. Because when you find it, you report to me. You see, but when the bad people, they find this particular fault, weakness, they will use it against you. And that is the distinction. You have permission. You are giving a contract by the organization that look into it, then report to me as soon as possible. But these three people, they are neither white, they are neither black, because they might attack you without permission. But then at the end of the day, they might not even use it for something bad. They might even report it. But because they don't have permission, that's what they do is illegal, because cyber crimes or anything attack, it's a crime. Let me say that way. So it's not like you'll be fined, no, you'll be jailed. That is why it's called cyber crime. It is a criminal offense where you would do jail time. But the distinction is whether you have permission or you don't. For the gray people, you don't have permission, but they will still come in and hack your system. But the motive might be that they were just trying it out for fun, or they just wanted to do something. Sometimes they will report and tell the organization that, fix your system. The systems are weak. You claim to be the best, but look at your data, look at this, look at that. But then they were able to get in without permission. That is what makes white hats the good ones, black ones, the bad ones, the gray ones stay in the middle and will break into systems without permission. And these are the ways that these people would get into our system. So this is where we'll end for today. The path, the method that we use carry out an attack. These are called threat vectors. You see, so how are these people able to succeed? When we look at movies, you realize that they were just clicking, they were just typing, and less than 5 minutes or less than 10 seconds, they are in the system. No. These are ways these people are able to get into systems, computers, and hack them. Emails. They know that companies use email as a form of communication. So they target emails, and you will see something or you hear something called phishing emails. Phishing emails mostly are bad emails sent out. So sometimes you are there and you receive an email from somebody that you don't know that you've won an iPhone, that your package is coming through. Click on the link to receive your package. Or luckily, you're one of the winners of our 20th anniversary. So click on this link or do this or do that. That is a phishing email. Now, they would craft the email in such a way that you might want to click or you might be interested in it. Now, imagine that you've been looking for a job, you have been going to LinkedIn, other job opportunity platforms, and then somebody sends you an email that we saw your request and we have selected you for an interview. So click on this link to book your interview. At that particular time, you are searching for the job you've been doing, and you've been going through LinkedIn too. So it's not like it is new, but then that could be a phishing email specifically targeted to you because they've seen your activity, they've seen where you've been going, they know that you are desperate for a job. So they would intentionally send you something that might be appealing. And when you click on the link or when you do what they want you to do, they are able to get into your computer or get into your system and steal information or install malware. And that is one thing that is out there. We see that a lot. If you would take time and go to your emails, you'll see that if I could show you my email, there are so many messages like this: an iPhone 17, it wonders, your package is up, you need to receive your package. All these things are called phishing emails, okay? And then websites, fake websites. Most of the time, we go to watch movies, to download free movies, to download games for free. Now, one thing that you will know in cybersecurity is that whenever something is extremely free, you are the target. Whenever you go somewhere or on an internet and something is free, like extremely free, you don't pay for anything. It's not like you are paying for anything, then you become a target because they are using that website to trick you. So you might think that, oh, I'm just going there to download a free game. At the end of the day, you are downloading something more, or the game has been infected with something deeper. Your game might work for you, but then at the end of the day, you've installed something on your computer that somebody is using to track you, or somebody is using to steal your data. That is one thing. Another thing could be that they would trick you into opening a website that you assume is the correct website. Maybe we're going to Facebook, but the website looks like Facebook, but it is not Facebook. The interface and everything looks like Facebook. So you might think that, oh, this is Facebook. Let me enter my credentials. So the moment you do that, they have your Facebook credentials. That is how people will be like, my account got hacked. I don't know what happened, but my account got hacked. This, that, because you typed your wrong credentials somewhere. That this attacker has now gotten it, and now they are using it against you, and they will use it to ask money from other people or whatever that they will use their account for. So whenever we go online, we would like to watch freebies. We want to watch movies for free, download games for free, get information for free. But these things come at a cost. The website is a way that attackers trick us a lot, or they trick people into revealing information or into downloading harmful software. And then we have social media. People use fake profiles to trick people to ask for money. And we see this a lot. Sometimes you be like, I don't know how they were able to succeed. But then one thing about we humans is that we have a lot of flaws. These attackers might pretend to be some people. We get it a lot. 419, this romance scam. You might not know how this person fell for that, but then they're pretending to be somebody and they are posting pictures about the person, they are doing this about the person, and you might think that, oh, this is somebody I know. And they will come in and they will ask you for certain information that you're obliged to give to them. But meanwhile, they are a catfish account. You see, so this is also a way. There was this incident where on, I think it was on Snapchat, where a friend was like, I'm in final year and I want you to help me with my thesis. I'm doing a research and I want you to be part of my sample. So can you please click on this link, go to this particular website and fill the form. It is about something sustainability. And this is our final year project. Like, okay, you are helping a friend out because everything shows that that is your friend. And this friend is saying that help me fill the form. And we see this a lot where, if you are friends with people who are in the university or doing their masters, we would want you to help them, fill these forms so that they can use it as their project or their thesis. But then this was by somebody malicious. So the moment this person clicked on the link and it was like, after some time, I realized that somebody has logged into my Gmail account because a Gmail account was linked to a social media account. So this person logged into a Gmail account, changed the password to a Gmail account, and locked her out. Because if on your Gmail account you don't do 2FA, and your phone, and other things, whenever you're changing your password, it's so easy because you have access. The moment you have one password and you don't have other things in place, it is so easy for somebody to change your mail password for you. So that was what happened. And at the end of the day, this person took over so many accounts because other accounts were linked to a Google account. Most of the time, we have this where our Google accounts are linked to so many of other websites, other things that we do. So if this person gets access to your Google account, then that becomes a problem. So these are avenues, these are smart ways these attackers use to get access to us, our businesses, our data, our information, so on and so forth. Let's look at the CIA triad, but this is also very important, but we will continue next week about the CIA triad. Now, so far, so good. Any questions so far? Those of you who are doing the cyber ride, any questions? So far, what I've said, any question, anything you want to ask, let's use the remaining time to do questions and answers. If you don't ask me questions, I will ask you. So please ask me questions so that we can bring today's chapter to a close. Are we good? Anything for me or any problem that you're having? Thank you.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, I have a question on. I don't know if recently we've noticed group chats on WhatsApp, people hijacking it. Under what can we put this kind of threat?
Under what can you put this kind of threat? So
Like
social,
this, what type of hacking is would this be?
okay, this would be a social media takeover, or this can even be that's thing that they were able to hijack your account. Why? Let's look at what are the ways where somebody could take over your social media account, group chats, how a link. They would force you to click on a link, or they would entice you to click on a link. So you would be there, and then somebody will send you something. It can also be that you want a bundle, or do this, or do that, but it comes in a form where they trick you, they manipulate you. So you realize that at the end of the day, most of these things that we do, or these hacking that people do, as a result of they tricking you, or they telling you that, oh, click here or do this. So you will not realize that you clicked a link some time ago. And the link you click maybe last 2 days or last 3 days, that's the link that they were able to use it to get access to your account or your WhatsApp account. Now, because your WhatsApp, you don't have other things in place like a 2FA, WhatsApp allows you to put a pin so that whenever somebody is getting access to your WhatsApp, you would type the pin. Because you don't have that in place, this person cannot take over. That's why sometimes when they take over somebody's account, they'll be sending messages in the group like, I have this bundle. If you want to get bundle for 10 CDs and you get 20 gig, click this. Or you see, most of the time, if you see somebody has been hacked, there'll be messages that they'll be sending to the group or to you. And then you'll be like, what happened? Why is it that all of a sudden this person is telling me to buy something or to click on something? And then later on, you realize that, oh, this person has been hacked, and then you remove them from the group, so on and so forth. You see, that is because they were able to get to this person. This person did not put other things in place. You see, so if you haven't done this, you go to your WhatsApp. When you go to your WhatsApp, you could add another form of protection to your WhatsApp, where you create a 6-digit PIN. You see, a 6-digit PIN. This is not like putting a password on your WhatsApp itself. It's a password, more like something called a 2FA, two-factor authentication, where this protects your account. So if you are holding your WhatsApp right now, you will see two-step verification. You go to settings, you see accounts, and you see two-step verification. If you haven't done this, then please do that. Turn it on and type in 6 digits. They will ask you to confirm. You see, the moment you do that, it means that you are protecting your WhatsApp. So even if somebody attempts you or somebody tricks you to click a link, you might have something there that will protect. So all these things, later on, you realize that there's something called social engineering that's destined for a social engineering attack. All these things, the Momo scam, all these things are social engineering attacks, manipulation, where they are using this to take over your account. Okay. Another any question or anything you want to add or anything you've seen personally? Okay. Okay. So we have 3 minutes left. If there are no questions, then I hope you learned something. And for those of you in the CyberRise program, I hope everything is going smoothly. If you are, I think there was a report that one thing was not loaded. If something was not loading, just skip to the next one. We are working on it to fix it. So just go to the next one. If the video you have to watch, just do that. And just continue learning, continue researching. At the end of the day, you will know more about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is an interesting field, and we need more professionals. And in Ghana, a lot of companies are now moving digital. That means that there will be a lot of attacks. That also means that there will be a need for people and these companies, these banks, these organizations, these hospitals. And that is why we must learn and have an idea, protect these businesses and these companies. So that is that. This seminar is organized by South Africa Group of Companies. So if you're out there and you want to learn cybersecurity, if you're not part of the CyberRise, but you want to learn cybersecurity itself, or to get an understanding, learn cybersecurity from the comfort of your home. As long as you have internet, you can do that. And even if you work, you don't even have a problem because most of these things are on Saturday and Sunday and even in the evening. So you get to also go to work or go to school and learn cybersecurity. So that is what we have for you. And the industry experts will help you look for a job, to tailor your CV, your resume, everything, prepare you for an interview. All these things are parts of the package. So if you want to learn more and be part of our new class that will start from December, please send us a message. Okay. And that will be all for today. So please join us every Wednesday. So every Wednesday we do this. Sometimes it's theory, sometimes it's even practical, where you will learn tools to protect something or to protect your company, your business, or whatever that you're doing. So please join us every Wednesday. The same link that brought you here every Wednesday, 4 p.m. GMT, every Wednesday, same place, same link. And I hope that whenever you join, you learn something new that you can even tell others to keep your system secure. Cybersecurity is a collective effort. It's not supposed to be one person's job. If you know cybersecurity and you're protecting yourself, somebody or a risk will pass through somebody or an attack might pass through somebody closer to you. So if you don't tell the people around you or spread the word around you, you might think you're only securing yourself, but then no. An attack can come from so many avenues, so many ways. And that is why we meet and talk cybersecurity. That's why this is part of the education. We have to be careful online. And like I said, if something is extremely free, then you are the product. Stay safe, and I'll meet you guys next week Wednesday. If you have any questions and you're part of the CyberRise, please send me an email and I will attend to you. Okay, if you have any questions to ask. Sure. So thank you guys for joining us. And I'm looking forward to see you guys next week. And I wish you all the best. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you also.
Bye.